Wait. Alright, your birth stink. Sorry, Robin. Never mind. Hey guys, so I've been put in the HU19 group and scrolling through the group, introducing myself. I see that you guys have a lot of questions. So someone suggested that I make a video answering all your questions. That's what this is. The HU19 FAQ. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not into vlogging. I'm not into anything like that. I just want to help. So I'm going to answer your questions, each and every one. And if I do miss a question and you still need clarification or something, please comment, subscribe. Alright, so let's get started. My name is Mia Hill. I am a sophomore international business major with a concentration in marketing. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So what I just said is basically you guys' Howard intro. So you say your name, you say your classification, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, graduating senior, you state your major, concentration, minor, whatever it is, and you state where you're from. One of the questions were, if you're admitted into a certain major and that's not what you want to do, and Howard accepted you for some weird major that you don't want to do, and you want to change your major, that's what your freshman week is for, guys. So there's basically, let me kill two birds in one stone. There's summer orientation that you guys pay $150 for. I know, $150. You're already giving Howard $47,000 and you have to give them more. $150 for an orientation, summer orientation, where you basically get a head start in getting all your paperwork done, whether it's some medical forms, immunization records, things like that, or working out financial holds or financial things you need to buy, what the rooms look like, give you an idea, give you a feel of Howard and what you're going to get in August. So, you can go to your advisor for that, and basically with major changes, it's good that you handle that before school even starts, because you can go to your advisor, you can be an undecided major right now, and you can go to your advisor during summer orientation or even during your freshman week, which is basically the same thing, but just during summer orientation, you don't have leniency to go out into DC. You only get to go out in DC when you come there in August and you're settled and you're a Howard person. Yeah, so that's when you actually get to a chance to talk to your advisor, tell them that, hey, I don't want to be an undecided major anymore. And when you're an undecided major, you are normally in COAS, so you'll talk to the COAS advisor. She's on the first floor. He or she is on the first floor, but I just know she's on the first floor. And you'll tell her that, hey, I don't want to do this. And then she most likely direct you to the advisor for the major that you want to do. So all that is very easy to take. Not easy, but it's good enough to take care of during orientation. And that's why you're there freshman week, because a lot of kids come and be like, hey, I know what I want to do now. Hey, I didn't say that major. That's to get all the mistakes that has been made. That's to get all the mistakes that has been made by Howard correct, or all the mistakes that are still in the works, or all the questions that are still in the works fixed. One of the questions is, how do you contact to discuss about financial aid? Well, since you guys are not at Howard yet, and I don't know if you guys are going to summer orientation, like I said before, if you're going to summer orientation, that's where you can go to the financial aid office. Side note. Warning, beware of the financial aid office. You'll leave there with a major headache that you didn't come there with, and they have these weird attitudes, and it's just like, you'll be like, for what though? But be nice to them, because they sometimes can give you money. They sometimes can work out issues with you very nicely. So be nice. If you want to contact financial aid, I would tell you to go to howard.edu again, and I think there's like a contact us page or something like that, and call them up and see about it. But I mean, it's better to go. I always say that it's better to go face to face on things, work out face to face, and really understand what they're saying. So I would say during freshman week, please make it your business to hit up the financial aid office. Also, you guys, before you come, make sure all your issues are settled. Like, make sure you guys have no holds, no nothing. And the way you see your holds, it's you go to Bison Web, you type in your PIN, and you type in your student ID. Once you guys get your ID cards, and you type in your PIN, and you go to student services or student accounts, and you go to the financial aid side, or you can go to the disregard what I'm saying. So that's summer orientation. Now, when you guys come in August, when you guys all move in, you know, that's when everyone comes. Everyone is there. Like, what you didn't handle during summer orientation, if you came, you can still handle during August in your freshman week. That's when, again, you can handle medical holds, financial aid holds, talk to your advisor, switch majors, talk about, stuff like that. Freshman week, you have a pinning ceremony. I know that's one of the major things. There's a pinning ceremony where you guys take this picture of 2000, because since you guys are graduating 2019, you guys will form 2019. They'll take a picture of you from the top, and that will be in your yearbook when it's time for you to graduate. You get pinned. It's like a welcome to Howard type thing. There's a lot of assembly that you guys will go through. There's a lot of things that you guys will have to sit. It's kind of boring. A lot of people are going to tell you about Howard and legacy and the truth and service that Howard stands for. And you're just going to be like, And there's a lot of that. Now, you do get fed. Yeah, you get fed. That's what that is about. It's nothing really too serious as for Howard. Like, Howard issue things, nothing too deep, too serious. It's paperwork. That's paperwork week. Like, if you still didn't get your ID, you go get your ID that day. If you still need to talk to your advisor about, if you need to take placement tests. Okay, placement tests. There is, if you didn't score a certain level on your SAT, I don't know the exact score. I think if you didn't get like a 520 on the math section of your SAT, you are required to take a placement test. Now, I know a lot of you probably took AP classes, or you guys have AP credits. Those are factored in, but it depends on what you took and if it's related to or is going to have any relevance in your major. So, like, if you had AP, because I know I took AP Human Geography, and they got my AP test scores for Human Geography, and it's like, so you're in the School of Business. How is that helping you? So, that's what helped me with that. So, if you have AP courses, of course, so if you take, like, AP Calc, that's definitely going to opt you out of college algebra too. If it's English credits, you have English credits, that's going to just add credits to your major. But I think you needed to have a 4, above a 3 in your AP, on your AP exam to receive that credit, to accumulate that credit. Yeah. But other than that, if you didn't get a 520 or better on your SAT, then you are required to take a placement test. And yes, it can be issued during either summer orientation or when you come in August. That's how moving works. And of course, you guys have your freshman week, your turn-up parties, your woo-woo, your hey. You really get to meet your class. This is the time to meet your class. make as many friends as you need to. You may not see them going towards the end though, but make as many friends as you want to, because these are the best 4 years of your life. You are entering Howard University, the Howard University, the real HU. Don't let nobody tell you different. The real HU. This is how moving day goes. You come, there's a lot of balloons, there's a lot of confetti, there's a lot of welcome to Howard. You feel so welcome. You come, your parents park, you guys, they say, what are you, you're in the annex, go that way, direct your car that way. You're in CHN, go that way. You're in quad, go that way. Drew, that way. You come in, there's like in the lobby there, they'll have like people distributing keys, and you get a form where you have to go check out the room, make sure everything's working properly. Please fill out that form. Please look at every little thing, because if something's not working properly, they'll make you pay for it at the end. So please fix that. Look at that. So yeah, you fill out a form, and they don't really ask you your major too much. Like, I know when I was in the annex, they didn't really ask me my major until later on, because they were trying to get to know me. But I don't see why not. Because either way, you're still gonna come. Like, either way. I mean, there's no, hey, this is a special day for co-op students. This is a special day for school communications. No, you're just sitting in your dorm. Alright, so I don't think that should be a big problem. I think the way they do it, the reason why they have you guys assigned on different days, is because, in fact, they want everything to run smoothly. They want, not for it not to be chaotic and a whole bunch of people coming at once. That's why you're all not going on the same day. But if a few of you want to, go a day early, go a day later, by all means, go ahead. But I would just say make sure you're there for your freshman week, because make sure you're there like for freshman week, because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a pinning ceremony, and you guys get pinned. It's like initiation to Howard. There's a lot of Howard events going on. Like, I know the Campus Pals normally do the Rep Your City night. It's a lot of parties. Freshman week. So make sure you guys are there for your freshman week. And I would say, if anything, if you're kind of trying to come later or earlier, make sure you're there by the last day of moving. So you guys can go to howard.edu to find out when's the last day of moving for freshmen, and make sure you're there by that date, because that's when the festivities for you guys start. Now, going back to partying and parties with partying and the events that, there's a lot of parties. Guys have heard about Howard and the turn up, and the Howard is the party school. If you want to get down, get down. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, I know a lot of you are probably graduating early. You guys are probably 16, 17. They really are very lenient. Some places are not. They have been incidents where you show them your Howard ID and they still tell you no because you're 17 or whatever. But majority of the parties are really lenient when it comes down to you being a Howard student, but you're under 18. So you can just sometimes show them your Howard ID, and that's fine. Or they'll just say, well, you'll realize that you're partying with a lot of people who are DC natives, and you'll be like, why is this old man in the party with me? But that's what will happen, and you will meet a lot of DC natives partying. But they're very lenient with Howard students and being under 18. Some of them are not, though, so I would double check that before you stand in the line for the party or you buy your ticket. That's it, though. But they are very lenient. They understand that you're in college, but you probably graduated early. Like, who's gonna knock you for graduating early? Get out with your bad self. I'm just gonna talk about going to parties and coming back to Howard. I mean, most of the parties are late, and if you're from a city that has parties all the way into like 4 a.m., I mean, parties doesn't really linger that long in DC, to be honest. by the time you get back to campus, it's going to be like 4 a.m. But like, I suggest Uber. These apps I'll be a sponsor for. I suggest Uber, Lyft, or Sidecar. And I suggest those apps because the transportation shuts, like, I know in New York, our transportation is 24 hours. And the transportation shuts down at midnight, I think. It doesn't open back up till 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., I think. So my best way for you in transportation when you go to a party is use Uber, Lyft, or Sidecar. And if you guys never heard of those apps and you guys will be using those for the first time, your first ride is free. And there's promotional codes going around. Like, so I suggest you to use Uber, Lyft, or Sidecar. That's the best way because I would want you guys to be really safe getting back to your dorms and getting from these parties, getting to and from these parties. So use those apps, utilize them. Time and there's deadlines for them. So I would check out those deadlines for the parties that you guys want to attend. And I know somebody asked me specifically about a pajama party. And it's like a Playboy pajama party and what to wear. Well, I'm not very stylish or I'm not into the style hacks, you know. I'm not a fashionista. I try to be. But I'm really not into what to wear. But I know if I was going, females and males, I would really direct you towards the, you know, have you guys ever watched like House Party and they had the little pajama party and whatnot? So I would direct you to that. I wore something like that to one of the pajama parties because I know a lot of females, they don't like wearing lingerie. They don't like showing off their body and that silk stuff, you know. So I would direct you to that. I mean, it's no wrong. I mean, it gets hot in DC. So I wouldn't want you to wear a whole fleece turtleneck type pajama to the pajama party. So I would recommend like probably like some little cute shorts, you know, pajama shorts, or like a t-shirt or something, a really cute t-shirt that's stylish but not too, you know, pajama-y, you know, something cute. And for boys, I would say like, I know a lot of boys don't sleep with shirts on, so I wish you just like a t-shirt and some cute pajama-ish boxers. You know, I'm gonna like put pictures around from House Party, you know, because I know you guys are probably like, what the heck is she talking about? But yeah, I'm gonna like post pictures around of, you know, House Party. But that's what I suggest. Like, you don't really have to go out because it's a pajama party, but you do have to look like you're not about to go to sleep. That's the weird part about it. Right. One of the questions was, can you have a microwave, a TV in the dorms? What is that process like? Okay, you can definitely have a TV in your dorm. There is Ethernet cord where you can, just in case Howard's Wi-Fi is acting up, which happens often, by the way. You can plug in the Ethernet cord to your computer and get internet that way when the Wi-Fi is acting up. And there's a cable cord where you get an outlet, you know, 25 foot, 50 foot from Target, plug it in, plug into your TV, cable. They have cable, they have MTV, they have BET, they have all the good stuff when you want to watch your shows, like when Scandal comes back on, when Empire comes back on, you know, all of that. Microwaves. Now, microwaves, they have a problem with. You cannot have a microwave, especially since you guys are freshmen. You guys are either staying in the Quad, Drew, or College Horror North. But I stayed in the annex, and with the annex, it's a suite style, so each floor had its own microwave and its own kitchen, so that was beneficial to me. But most likely you guys are saying Quad, Drew, Carver, College Horror North. So basically the answer to that question is unfortunately no. I'm sorry, they do not allow you to have a microwave. Some people sneak it, some people try to swindle their way, but they do not allow you to have a microwave. And I do not know why. It's kind of weird, but you know, they don't, because if things burn up and if things explode, you know, that causes a fire alarm, you know, whatever. So you're allowed to have a refrigerator, guys. And all dorms allow you to have a refrigerator, so that's good. And also, side note, I believe Carver has a kitchen in it, and I believe Drew does too. I haven't been in those, but I know definitely for sure that Carver has a kitchen in it that you will be able to warm up, cook, chef it, CHN. I'm not sure, but I have a lovely sister that has a YouTube account called Black Girls YouTube too, and she can definitely answer that question for you because she stayed in college for her freshman year. Let's talk about roommates. Can we talk for a second? Okay, so me as a freshman, I stayed in the annex. It's a suite style dorm, and you have there's a single and a double. You share a bathroom with two other people, and you have your own study room in the between the two. My experience personally as a freshman, and I had two roommates. The first one, she was not so friendly, and I'm just being nice as possible. So basically, it just didn't work out with both of them, and I don't blame anybody else because it's like when you have a roommate, you're bringing two different worlds together. Like, some people are coming from California, some people are coming from Utah, some people are coming from states that you didn't even know there was people in. But yeah, you're bringing two different worlds together. You're merging two different lifestyles, two different, ways, plants that have grown in their 18 years of life into one habitat. And each plant is gonna grow differently. That's my analogy to that. Yeah, so like you're bringing two different worlds into one and trying to make it work. Like, so that's the thing about roommates. Like, it can work out and it cannot work out, but it's a trial and error process. Like, everyone that you meet, you're not gonna get along with. Everyone that you interact with, you're not gonna get along with. But you just have to compromise because that's the person that you're gonna live with from August to April or August to May. So you're gonna have to just make it work out regardless of the fact I'm not gonna guarantee you guys that you guys are gonna get along with your roommates. I'm not gonna guarantee it at all because I had bad roommate experience myself, but you just have to suck it up, you have to deal with it, and you have to meet a common ground whether you guys like each other or not. And to be honest, roommates will be the best roommates in the world. You guys will be the best friends ever, or you won't be the best friends ever. And it's just like with everybody, you like your own space. You've grown up a certain way for a reason, and that person grown up a different way for another reason. And then it's hard when you both grown up two different ways and you're trying to bring that into one little room, So roommates will make and break you, but don't fight with them. Don't do nothing. There's a problem and you feel like it's a constant problem, speak to your RA. Speak to your RA about it, and that's how. And if it gets to that extent, there will be change. There will be changes towards your roommate. But if it's not that serious, just like if you don't get along with them and you see it's not working out, just stay to yourself. But you are gonna need to talk to your roommate here and there. Be like, hey, is this your thing in the bathroom? Hey, would you mind if I borrow a rub band or something? Because you live with them. It's just like you cannot not speak to the person that you're gonna be in a room with for all the months. Yeah, so that's that about roommates. And yeah. Okay, so another question is, like, do you have to have a meal plan? Like, is it worth it? Are you supposed to have a meal plan? Are you required to have one? The answer to that question is yes. If you stay in College Park North, the Quad, Drew, Carver, you are required to have a meal plan. It comes with your tuition. They automatically give you it's called a traditional 14, week meal plan. So basically, you get 2 meals a day, every day, and you get, I think it's $150 dining dollars. Now, with that, me speaking personally, Howard's food, it gets repetitive and it gets old really quickly, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Some things are really, really good, and some things are not so good. So, is it worth it? I would say, girl, it's free food. It's it's stuff that you can just walk up, get, even pack up to take back to your dorm or whatever. It's free food, so you might as well take it. But it does get boring really quickly, and that's why they give you the option of dining dollars. Dining dollars can be used at the what is called the C store. So it's like if you have like corner stores or bodegas or little gas station stores where you get like candy and chips and little toilet tissue or aspirin or stuff from. That's what the C store is. And also it can be used in and there's another one of those in the Blackburn Center that's where the cafeteria is. It also can be used in the Punch Out. The Punch Out is like a mall food court. Like they have variety of food, like chicken, quesadillas, salads, pizzas, sushi. So you can use your dining dollars for that. But remember, you only get $150, and once the $150 is up, the $150 is up. So, for me, the way I did it was freshman year, I kept my 14-week traditional meal plan, and I didn't even use 2 meals a day after a while. I used like 1 meal a day, if I was like, did not feel like going to the caf because the Annex caf wasn't open at the time. So if I did not feel like going to the caf, I definitely went to the C-store and got like a Hot Pocket or something with my dining dollars. I managed it all out. But by spring semester for me, it got really like old. Like I didn't want the caf all the time, and I didn't really like it too much. So what I did was I got what was called a 360 block. Like you're able to change your meal plan. Don't get me wrong. Like if you guys feel like 2 meals a day is not suiting you and you think that you need more, I would suggest you go to Bison Web, but you guys don't have like stuff yet for Bison Web. But you go to Bison Web and you go to student services and you go to, I think it says meal plans, housing, and you go to the part where it says about the meal plan and you change it and they'll give you a whole listing, and you can go to the traditional 19-week or you can go to 360 block, 120 block. That way, so I changed my meal plan to the 360 block spring semester, and that's where you get like a couple of meals. They give you a set of meals for the spring semester, and you get 360 dining dollars. So that way you can use as much stuff as you want, get as much Hot Pockets, Fridays, TV dinners as you want. So that's what I did. Is it worth it for your first semester? Yeah, I would say utilize it because that is longer than actually the spring semester. So I would say utilize that up. Yeah, I said utilize that up. Really use your meal plan. Also, your dining dollars cannot be used off campus. So, like, around campus, there's Starbucks, there's McDonald's, there's Potbelly's, there's Nick Grill, Caribbean Eatery, there's Subways, and there's China Wonder, and there's Ho-Chi. There's Ho-Chi. And that's the stuff that's, like, really on campus. And that's the only thing to eat. But you cannot use your dining dollars at these places. I heard they used to accept dining dollars, and they used to accept Bison Bucks. And Bison Bucks is different. Like, that's like prepaid money that you put on there. And you utilize that for laundry. And you can use that for froyo too. So you can buy froyo with your Bison Bucks. Yeah, that's the only place that takes Howard money. Unfortunately, the rest of them do not take Howard money anymore. When you come on campus, you'll still see that it says the Howard Bison Bucks sticker, but they do not. You cannot use your dining dollars anywhere else besides Punch Out. And this was what is a good way to stay in the loop if you live off campus. Well, I know a lot of you may probably still live in the DMV area, and you're like, why get a dorm where I live like 30 minutes away or an hour away and I can commute? Um, you will stay in the loop regardless. Like, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, you will be in the loop. Yeah, regardless, you will be in the loop. Like, you'll have, as freshmen, if you're in a school of business, you'll have business orientation, and so you'll be in teams with some people, the people are in your business orientation, so you'll meet friends there. You have classes with most of HU19 probably. If you're in any other major, I think you have freshman seminar. So yeah, so you'll definitely be in the loop. Just my advice to you is go to as many Howard events as possible. Go to a lot of, talk to people around campus, stay in the loop. You have to stay, in order to be in the loop, you need to stay in the loop. And it's just when you don't socialize and you just go straight home or, not linger around campus, then that's when when you're not in the loop. But I'm not saying that you won't be, I'm not saying that you won't be as close, but it's just like, you gotta try a kind of probably a bit harder because you're not gonna live in a dorm with you. But you'll definitely be in a loop. So don't think you're not gonna be in a loop because you don't live on campus, girl. Yeah, so moving on. Me being an international business major, it's like when you're in the school of business, you have business orientation. And how business orientation works, it's like you're put into teams, and your team leader is obviously a person who has been through business orientation already, so they're either sophomore, junior, and they're your team leaders. And you get several presentations that you're gonna have to present during business orientation to the class. And you're working with your team to come up with this. So sometimes it's like coming up with a business plan, coming up with a new idea, coming up with, um, business proposals, stuff like that. But you're working together as a team, and that's for the first couple of weeks of business orientation. And you do have business orientation during your freshman week. So the School of Business people, with all the events that go on during the day in Howard, you may not be able to dip into those because you'll be stuck in business orientation. Oh, of the joy. But that's business orientation. And then eventually you get a corporate sponsor. Corporate sponsors are most likely like Chase Bank, PNC Bank, and there'll be a corporate sponsors, and you'll be doing projects related to them. Um, with being an international business major, international business and business administration are very broad. Like, it's like, okay, you want to do business internationally, but what do you want to do with it? It's like being an international business major. You need a foreign language. You have to find a language you want to focus in on. But they require you to come in level 2 of that language. So of course, a lot of you guys probably took Spanish, so you guys didn't dive into Spanish. Just know Spanish closes very fast. Being an international business major, it's cool. Like, I really like it. I enjoy myself. Like, since it's so broad, you still need to have a concentration in one of like marketing, finance, accounting. So it's like, what are you gonna do with that? So, and you don't really him in on that aspect of international business until junior year. So that's why you still have time to like reevaluate, make sure this is what you want to do, make sure this is the major you want to dip into. That's why they give it to junior year, because freshman year and sophomore year, you're basically taking the same classes as everybody else in the business class, in business orientation, excuse me. You're basically taking the same classes as everybody else in business orientation. So that's why it doesn't really, it doesn't really matter that you are an international business major now, because you may find that's not what you want to do later on. So yeah, that's that. Same thing for business administration. You just need to find a concentration into what you want to do. So that's why I said my concentration is in marketing, because that's the aspect of international business I want to dive into. What else? Yeah, that's it for international business. Like I said, you need the language. I'm taking Mandarin Chinese. Yeah, and you take that language for 4 semesters until you get to conversational. And if you want to study abroad afterwards, go ahead, study abroad. But on your scheme, you'll realize that there's something called functional area. You will eventually have to, get some outside, experience on international business, and you may actually have to travel. I haven't really discussed that with Miss Hampton yet, but I will. Registering for classes, you are automatically registered starting June 26th. Your advisor registers you, because I know my advisor. I'm in the School of Business. Her name's Karen Hampton. She registered me by herself. I had no say so in that. Had no say so in any of the registrar process at all. I know a lot of my other friends, they got their schedules during freshman week, and their advisors also created and formatted their their schedule. So yeah, you don't have to worry about really registering your first semester at Howard, because that's pre-did for you. And yeah, so you get your spring semester is when you really have to worry about registration. And boy, let me tell you guys, that is the Hunger Games. Like, registration, you go by what class you're in. So seniors are first, juniors are next, sophomores, then freshmen. Like, you guys are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes down to registration. And if a senior needs a class that you gonna take, you may likely not get into that class, because there's a lot of upperclassmen that may need that to graduate at this point. And it's just like, even though you still need that class, you just like, you're still a freshman, so you got time. But yeah, that's like the Hunger Games. Like, once 9 o'clock hit, everyone's trying to sign on Bison Web. Your computer's gonna crash like 7 million times for no reason. You had all your pins for the classes set out, and as soon as you hit it, go, server is down. And you're like, really, Howard? Really? It's gonna be very stressful, and I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's gonna be stressful. You're gonna get so upset with the Bison Web. You're gonna get really upset. But once everything is said and done, you got your own classes. I would say, tip for registering and classes, just you get a scheme for your major, which telling you which advises you to what to take each year, each semester of each year. And I advise you to like follow that scheme. And then if you during registration and you see that class is either full or you can't get into that class for some reason, I would say play around with your scheme, or just dip into different classes that you need to take. That's my best advice to that. And as for if you really want to get into a class, I feel like if it's not a major class, as in freshman composition or a math class, I personally feel as if you should not stay on the waiting list, or try to get it override so you can get in that class. I did not do that process, because if you're the English teacher that I wanted because you were easy, and on Rate My Professor it said that you don't give no work and I couldn't get into you, I'll find the next best teacher rather than sitting there, going through all that trying to get you as my teacher, because then it just delays my process and it delays me being in a class, So that's for registration. As for like clubs, now it's not hard to join your state club. When it comes into your state club and your major club, those are easy to get into. There's no audition process, there's no nothing. You from New York, join the New York club. Like, if you're from Phoenix, the Phoenix club, you're in it. Like, it's like that, because you're from that state and they want more people from Phoenix in the Phoenix club. If you're international business major, they have the International Business Major Society. So if you are international business major, you can just join the club. It's not serious. It's not a serious process. As for wanting to be like an ooh la la dancer, a bassinet, a cheerleader, that is an audition process. Now, I personally, I was a cheerleader in high school, but I didn't go for the cheerleading. Personally, don't know what they really want, but I would think that they will want what any cheerleading team would want. Like, you need to know how to tumble. You need to know how, your high V's and your low V's. And I would hope that's what they want. As for the ooh la la dancers and the bisonettes, I don't know. I know the bisonettes, there's an audition process. Like, there's a couple of days, I think it's 3 days that they teach you the dance steps, you get it, you perform it, like any other dancing team or whatever. I think the same is for the ooh la la dancers too. But yeah, I don't really know much about that, and I can direct you to other Howard vloggers that will tell you about that process, or I will get somebody to tell you about that process because I want you to get that answer. So yeah. DJ Howard, I mean, there's a lot of DJs on campus. You just need to get your rep up. Like, you really need to market yourself well. Like, I know there's a lot of DJs. I know during homecoming unveiling, there's like, they have a DJ battle and it's like, there was 3 DJs and you say which one is the best, and then that one who was voted the best got to like DJ at a lot of the homecoming events. So you need to market yourself well. Like, if you know that like the Kappas are throwing a party, you can just be like, hey, I DJ, here's my sample, do you want me to DJ this party? Like, you need to represent yourself, like, with all the orgs, with all the clubs. Like, they're gonna need DJs, and you need to be on your money. So it's not hard. It's not hard to DJ at Howard at all. You just need to get yourself known, get yourself out there. But if you're a DJ, you know how to, the soca, the reggae, because I'm from New York, so I'm not with all this trap music type thing. But if you're a DJ and you know how to really turn your stuff, I vote for you. You have my vote. Question is, are there any churches in the area? Are there any like places you can practice your religion? Well, every Sunday at 11 a.m. there's chapel. They have chapel. With chapel, it's not directed to a specific religion, nor is it, centered around a specific religion. So, it's more of a motivational speaking, because you guys don't, they don't really try to make it seem like, hey, this is a Baptist chapel. This is a, Catholic chapel. It's like, I feel like it's more of a Christian chapel, but I don't want to put a name on it because it's a lot of motivational speaking at the same time. So there's like speakers like Cornel West, Al Sharpton, who come and they talk about, God's plan and how to become a better student and stuff like that. So chapel is good for that. It does lean more towards the Christian side sometimes, and I know there's a lot of Muslims, who practice Islam, so it leans more on that side. So any good churches in the area, I don't know because I go to chapel, but you guys can come to chapel with me and we can talk about it, over lunch or something. Yeah, and like I said, you guys are gonna enjoy Howard. Just stay focused, party hard, soak up every last experience, because the amount of celebrities that come on campus, the amount of business people who can connect you to them celebrities that come on campus, you need to make them your friend. Like, don't go to them and, feed over them and be thirsty and say, hey, can you give me a job? Like, beg them and stuff like that. Build your relationship, build your network. Building your network in Howard is so important. As long as you do that, you're good. You're good. Your experience at Howard University is going to be great. And I can't wait to meet you guys. Like, just know, if you guys have any more questions, just comment below. If you guys need anything else, just hit me up. follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I will answer. And also, if I haven't answered any of your questions and you have some questions that I did not center around, like I said, comment. And also, you can check out my twin, my sister, one of my best friends at Howard's YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/blackgirlsyouTube2. Her name is Judea, and she can give you fashion tips. She give you makeup tutorials. You can learn how she gets ready, and she also has some really good Howard tips as well, because she's in the honors program in the School of Communications. So if you need to know anything about the School of Communications, please watch her YouTube channel, ask her questions, follow her on Twitter at Juicy Lore, so that I'm gonna put that there, and subscribe to her on YouTube, Black Girls YouTube too. Follow her on Instagram at They Love You Long Time and at Black Girls YouTube too. And that's it. I can't wait to meet you guys. Like, you guys seem so awesome. And if you need anything, just know. If you want to do lunch, just know I'm here. If you need a mentor, I'm here. And that's it. And if you want me to do another video, just ask me, because I'm not used to doing this. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't really come out. I'm more of a person that you talk to if you need anything, you know. But this is cool, and thank you guys for suggesting that I should do this, and can't wait for you guys to come be part of the Howard family. HU, you know. Bye.